Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to Brick Rigs. I'm on the Canyon map just to change it up a little bit, and yeah, just going to show my latest creations because I've been sort of on a creating spree. So first of all, another biplane. This is probably going to be my last one for a bit, so yeah. But with this one, it's a World War I triplane. As you can see, not much has been changed since the original biplane, just an extra wing fitted, more struts. The flaps have also been changed. They're now on the top wing rather than the middle one. Of course, there wasn't a top wing on the original one, so they were on the correct place, but with this one, they're on the bottom and the top wing. The central wing is left. Other than that, the underside has been painted white instead of the sort of greyish, just to change it up because it gives a good contrast to the red. And the reason that it's red is because, of course, everyone knows the Red Baron flew a red Fokker D8 or something triplane. But other than that, the centre has been left unchanged. It's a red seat to go with the red plane. Other than that. The undercarriage is completely the same, everything else is the same. The only difference is that the lights have been changed because it's not an inline engine. It needs to go out the side, and so of course to get out the side I had to change the light cylinders around, and so yeah. These have just been held onto some glass redirectors, and they've just been put to the side. Unfortunately, there's only running light 1, 3 and 4, because running light 2 would be trapped under here and it doesn't show up. So yeah, that's been left there, but other than that, exactly the same controls. Yeah, nothing else I think to say about it. The extra wing means that it does take off very quickly. Probably take off from here. As you can see, it's already lifting, and yep, there we go, we're away. In, what was that, like 20 feet of runway? I don't know. But yeah, other than that, flies perfectly alright. There you go, we'll turn on the lights. As you can see, the lights are on the side still, running. Still got the alternate flashing lights at the side there. This one wants to lift up if you leave it. Because I don't think my mouse is actually moving, as you can see. It just sort of does it by itself. Other than that, oh dear, okay, I've managed to do that. I did not mean to do that. But yeah, other than that, nothing much changed. See the road down there. It's now all nice and red. You got the triple wings. And yeah, that's about it. It's just a nice little biplane. No weapons again. Because we need more compact weapons, I think. But yeah, roadways down there. I wanted to make a seaplane, but there is no water because, of course, Lego doesn't float. Well, it does, but it doesn't. It's not watertight. But still, yeah, if we had water, that would be really great, so that we can start getting some ships on the Steam Workshop, and that I can start making seaplanes and you know, all sorts of amphibious cars and things that other people want to do, which would be fun. But as it happens, we'll have to wait for seaplanes. I mean, there is that down there. That's a sort of river, but yeah, doing some aerial recon right now of this map because I haven't been on here ever, I don't think. So yeah, there's a lake over there. Let's go and examine the lake. Ooh dear, that's not gone well. Stalling, in a spin. Okay, come on. Let's, yes. No, yes. Yes, we've stabilised it. Good. Thank God for that. So there we go. Yeah, is that a lake down there? I believe it is, because the river seems to be running into it. Where's the river? Recon. Yeah, there's the river. Yeah, yeah. River, 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 and... no, not textured map. Anyway, yeah, so that is the triplane. That was fun doing some aerial recon right there. But, yeah, there's enough of that. Let's put that back down here. Oh dear. Where am I? Here I am. So yeah, there's that. And then the second thing that I want to show is my AA truck. because of course, well, I realised now that I've actually built some biplanes, you're gonna need some defence against said biplanes. So yeah, I've created an AA truck. This is a light AA truck. As you can see, I tried to make a quad turret, like you would find on one of those quad half tracks during the Second World War and the Vietnam War. So yeah, what I've done, chopped off the top. The top is now shortened, as you can tell, because the top usually slopes upwards. But I've decided to chop it off just so that you get better, area of attack up there. On the back, got some seats for spare passengers / loaders for the machine gunner. You could have a captain or an aimer for the gunner, and then a couple of loaders. The gunner seat is here. In here, you've got a gunner sight here, which is just 2 glass redirectors with a glass name tape, and on that I've just put a dash across and a dash again, so sort of like crosshairs, just so that you have a better chance at aiming up against those aircraft. And then on the back, of course, 4 machine guns in the quad formation, as you can see, using gold bars as ammo feeding into the guns. And yeah, that's about it, sort of. Yeah, chopped off the back. We got some sticks there that you would sort of use to move the thing. It can rotate and elevate, as you can see. There's the actuator for the actual elevation. And then on the back, just a couple of boxes of ammo, just spare ammo. And then I decided that because these things have been upgraded to speed 4. Yeah, they go at speed 4, just because you need to track those aircraft, because no doubt some people have made some really fast jets on the workshop. So yeah, if you were deciding to try and track and hit and take down jets with this thing, I don't know how you would do that, but if you were to attempt to, you would obviously need to be able to track them quick enough, and the default speed of rotation and elevation isn't enough, so yeah, it rotates and elevates at speed 4, and yeah, that's just so that you can track the jets. It does mean that this thing goes boom everywhere, and because it's therefore unstable, I have added in some quick actuators which will lift the thing up and give it a more stable platform to fire on. And of course the back is open so that you can get in. The sides are also rather open so the gunner can search for his own targets, and of course the front is made of glass, just so that you can see out of it and you've got the crosshair on there. So yeah, if we head out, there we go. Controls for driving are exactly the same, and it drives perfectly alright. As you can see, the top bit does wobble a bit, but then, say for example you're in a squad and you're driving along and somebody spots an aircraft, then obviously the driver has to do this bit. Well, the driver has to do all of it, because you can't sort of assign certain controls to certain seats, which is unfortunate. That'd be really high tech. But yeah, anyway, in order to lower the legs, it's pitch. You saw this on some of my rocket trucks as well. So yeah, pitch will lower them, and then you've got the feet as a platform there, and then pressing Alt you can move this thing, and this is how fast it moves. It does bash into things, unfortunately, but there you go. There's the power of it. Full just a quad MG to spray bullets everywhere. And then yeah, this thing can rotate 90, 180, which I should probably change, but no matter. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The light AA truck. I thought that the actual machine gun turret was the flak turret was just a bit too small, so I sort of had to try and pad out the sides of it, but I padded them out in a good way. I didn't just box them off or anything, so I put down extra seats, put down these lifters, and some boxes of ammo, one of which is turned just to look good. So yeah, that's about it for the flak truck. If we actually get into it, there we go. get into the gunner's position, that's what he looks like. And then going into it, there's the sight. So yeah, and then you can of course move yourself. Oh, good. There you go. So there you go, that's what it looks like. Oh dear, looking into the sun. Yeah, so there you go. Unfortunately, the legs do break occasionally. But yeah, let's get back into the driver's seat. Inside, yeah, nothing's changed. There's still no detail. But yeah, and then using pitch again, you can raise up the legs, and providing that they haven't broken off, which unfortunately these have, and glitch through the floor apparently, you can drive on. Plus the legs actually stop this thing from tipping over rather usefully, as you can see here. If we go too quickly, yeah, it does that, but then the legs will stop you. Not the other way, if they're broken, unfortunately. But still, so there we go, there's the light AA truck. And now to the final thing, which is the heavy AA truck. And you're probably thinking, that looks exactly like the normal truck. Which is true, and that is the whole idea of it, because often anti-aircraft vehicles were covered to hide their true nature, and also to bait unsuspecting pilots. So an unsuspecting pilot would see a convoy of vehicles, just go, aha, wonderful. An unsuspecting convoy of vehicles which I could just go and destroy, blah blah blah, help the war effort, and then all of a sudden a bunch of trucks, their tarpaulins would get whipped off the top of them, and then they'd have loads of machine guns and they'd machine gun you down. And this is what I've tried to do with this, because this is of course the heavy anti-aircraft truck, and well, I'll just demonstrate it. So for example, you're driving along in your convoy, somebody in the convoy goes, hostile aircraft spotted. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, bang, big old cannons suddenly shooting at you in the sky. So yeah, that's the whole thing. It's meant to be like a big surprise. So yeah, that's the whole point of this thing. It's meant to be covered so that it looks like it's like my normal truck, because I tried to make it look like the normal truck as much as possible. But then when they get into it, they find out, actually, this is bad news. So yeah, let me get out of this and show it off. So going into free camera here. In fact, no, I'll just. Oh, I can't get into it from there. Okay. I'll show it in the hangar because it's going to be easier. So yeah, in here, as you can see, what we got is a whole load of these actuators on the bottom, and essentially what I did is I took this thing. As you can see, I took this thing. These are loads of panels, so I just selected all of the panels and just sort of moved them across, moved them out of the way, so that I just had a pure flatbed after deleting all the central bits and the roof. And then what I did is I redesigned the roof slightly. After I put down these things, after I put down these actuators, I moved the panels back on, including the lights, so the lights were moved as well. So yeah, move the panels and the lights back on, and then the roof, as you can see, the roof looks unchanged, but if you go inside you'll see there's a split right down the middle, and that's what splits it in half. And these are two 2x1 bricks, as they are on the back here, and this has got a split running right the way down it, and that just allows these two things to break off into two halves and go flat. You're not supposed to drive it when it's in the deployed position, just because it gets wild and ungainly, and also you can break the whole things off. So yeah, it's designed to be stationary before you deploy it, or you can deploy it on the move as you're slowing down for added speed, but you're not meant to drive around with it down. And then of course inside, big old cannon. I wanted this barrel to be extra length, but unfortunately it sort of collided everywhere and you didn't get a good traverse with it, so it's only 2 barrels long, which is unfortunate. Maybe if the game creator adds in some 1x1 barrel pieces, then I could elongate it by 1, I think, which sort of is useless now. But either way, that'd be nice to just have shorter barrels than these 1x4, because 1x4 barrels can get a bit annoying to try and use. But coming to the back here, I built a small gun shield around the gun because, of course, there's more space to the side. So, yeah, these things deploy that way, so it doesn't collide with this. And then on here, I've just added a little tally, as if the crew has been keeping track of how many aircraft they've shot down. So, yeah, got a tally of 7 there. I just did a bunch of lines on a, what is it, 2x2, I think it is, nameplate. Yeah, 2x2 nameplate. And just put a load of tallies on there, change the font size. And then to make the line across, this is a 1x1 clear glass, and I've just put a simple line there, and then I've just sort of twisted it slightly, just to give it that line down. And it gives it a nice effect, and then of course the gun shield goes around the gun. On the back here, that's the breech of the gun, so that's the gun breech. Yeah. Same thing. And yeah, so the gun breech, obviously, that's where you would load the shells in. Just a little blank circle on the back, and this is a redirector cylinder. And then we come to the gunner's position. Red seat for the gunner, just to give some colour to this dull, sort of grey military piece of hardware. And then this is mounted on a spit out the side, sort of bit. And then on here you've got a ramp which goes up, and then you've got just a 2x1 brick there, but then you've also got this redirector, and on the back of this redirector I've put a another redirector, one of these small ones which sort of can go inside of bricks, and then on the back of that one of these redirectors, and then onto that put a rod, and then on that rod I put a 1x1 flat stud, and then on top of that put a glass 1x1 1x1 plate, and then on that I just put a cross, and that's supposed to be like that's meant to be like the traversal wheel that you see on like Flak 88s and things. So you would sort of grab hold of that and you would turn it around, and then the act of you physically turning it would rotate the gun, and then to get the elevation, that's what this is for. It's sort of the same deal. Underneath here I've got yeah, same thing, one of these redirectors with a small redirector inside of that, and then on that a rod, and the rod sticks up, and on that again a 1x1 stud and one of these 1x1 plates, and that just makes some nice just extra add-on features, sort of decal or decor things. And then of course on that I have got the crosshairs, the dash, the cross, and the dash again, on a piece of glass, and then just to top it off, just put a 1x1, a 1x2, sorry, flat plate on there, all in military grey, of course. And so yeah, that's the hidden surprise in this thing. Inside, nothing's changed, as per usual, and the roof has been kept the same, just to make it look exactly like the non-deployable version. So yeah, once again, this is what it looks like. All the seats have been stripped out from inside, as you could tell, and then actually sitting inside of it, which you wouldn't do, but you could do. That's what it looks like through the sight if you were inside, and then obviously somebody spots an aircraft, they would notify you, out you come, and then of course you can have the gunner in his seat, and then yeah, this is what he'd see. I'm using the wrong thing. There we go. So yeah, these have been capped at 100 degrees, so these side panels can't go down any further, because otherwise it would destabilize the whole thing and it would go flying because physics. And they're set at speed 1.5, which is how they're slightly quicker to deploy. And then the actual traversal again is Alt and throttle and steering, and that traverses the whole thing around like so, and that's at speed 2. So yeah, slower than the flak, than the light flak, but it packs a more powerful punch, so of course it would be slower because it's a larger thing to have to move. And yeah, this is the surprise in a box. And then of course aircraft's down, somebody says clear skies, then you can simply do that, bring that up, it's getting dark, put on your lights, and yeah, drive away. Perfectly fine. So yeah, you can easily blend into a vehicle convoy. They would have to be very close in order to spot those ribs on the side, and just go, oh hang on, Normally trucks don't have that before they would realise and get shut down because it's too late for them. So yeah, that's that. And those are the newest things that I have been working on. The truck still works, obviously, as you can see. And so yeah, those are my latest and newest creations. I was going to say latest and greatest, but they're possibly not. Ooh! Big old crash. So yeah, I'll thank you for watching and goodbye.